We're here at Festival Park.
Action! Action!
Okay, so we're here at Festival Park today, right next to Plum Creek. We're actually going to be filming about the Plum Creek Monster.
Hi, welcome to Spirits of the Silver Screen. Tonight we talk about Willow Creek, filmed in 2013. Alright, I'm your host Matt. Joining me tonight,
Sam,
Keegan.
Hi, I'm Andrew.
Alright guys, follow me. We're going to be checking out the creek itself.
Alright, so in the movie Willow Creek, it starts off with a man and his girlfriend. They're kind of amateur documentary movie maker type. He wanted to follow his kind of boyhood dream of following in the footsteps of
Patterson-Gimlin.
Yeah, Patterson-Gimlin.
Obviously the famous Patty footage.
Yeah. Yep. So I mean, it's just him living out his fantasy there. So we start off going through some small towns. They interview some locals, and some of them are pretty odd and have way out there type stories of their experiences with Bigfoot. And he meets some other people who say, "Yeah, you're full of it. There's no such thing." I've been here 20, 30 years, never seen it, never heard of it, type thing. But it looks like they have some killer food up there too. They have a Bigfoot burger that looked like it was about 7-8 inches long.
Or a big foot.
Yeah, a Bigfoot burger. Yeah, so now they kind of follow this trail that takes them to an unpaved path, and they run into a local who warns them, get the hell out of here. What are you doing here? You need to turn around and go now. And of course, being stubborn, he went against that advice and found an alternate way into where they led up. They, I think they said during the movie it was about an hour and a half hike into the mountains before they came upon somewhere where they rested for a camping spot. And,
no, they had an hour and a half to the original film site.
I guess it really doesn't know how far off the beaten path they went. But they did find kind of a really nice looking creek or lake. I thought it looked very beautiful. It was crystal clear. Obviously no pollution in it and whatnot. On his way to the campsite, I guess a sock way up in the tree that was his, and his reaction is weird. There's one of my socks.
Right? You feel like that would be your reaction to be oh, we're not alone out here? It's not a raccoon or a bear.
Right?
Yeah, and then, I even feel his girlfriend was kind of when they got back to the tent or campsite to see that it was ruined, we should probably just go.
Mm-hmm. I want to go home.
Yeah. And I guess being a guy, I understand the stubbornness where it's we've come this far, let's just stay.
Well, plus, he also had, an underlying, thing he wanted to do when they got out there, I think. Obviously, because he proposes to her in the tent scene. So I think that was part of why he didn't want to leave, because he wanted it to be in this really nice, serene place. So who knows if he actually wanted to go film about Bigfoot? Maybe that was his whole plan.
Right.
Sure. And it would suck to try and hike back in the dark.
Yeah. Especially when you don't know where you're at.
Yeah.
Which, so there was a couple of questions we had watching this. Mine was, you go looking for Bigfoot, you don't bring weapons. Nothing to protect yourself. I'm not even talking just from Bigfoot, but bears, mountain lions, anything. People, you bring nothing. You're just out there with a camera. Matt brought up another good thing.
If you're going into uncharted territory, somewhere where you haven't been before, wouldn't you maybe think to bring a map? A map of some sort, whether it be the GPS devices handheld now, or
At least a compass?
yeah, a compass, some sort of sense of direction. Or do it the old-fashioned way and bring some fabric and tie it to a tree as you're making your journey too.
Yeah.
Or hikers do, make little rock piles.
Yeah.
And then that brought us to our kind of make or break of the movie scene. Either this part of the movie's going to make you hate it or love it. Because it starts off terrible, but it does at least pay off.
It picks up in the end, but you got 10 minutes of dry tent scene of them having a couple's conversation with the occasional hoot or howl or banging of rocks or sticks clapping, something, you know. I mean,
They could have
Just-
cut that down.
it could have
like,
been,
editing could have done something about
Right.
that for sure.
Half the time at least.
yeah, half.
I mean, I don't think so because it's kind of like the suspense of hearing something different.
Get closer, I guess.
Yeah, get closer and all sorts of it. You can't really cut that down without it being terrible then at that point.
Well, they could have maybe cut the bedroom talk out of the film. You know, maybe less of that.
Yeah, there's a lot of bedroom talk, especially right off the bat. It might make you quit right away if you don't like that stuff.
Yeah, pre-warning on that one.
Adult advisory.
Some minor nudity too, if you're not a fan of nudity. You see the backside of a man and, you know, a blurred version of his junk in the water. I mean, it's crystal clear water, so I mean,
Yeah.
so just be prepared for that shock of nudity.
There's some more, but we'll talk about that at another section because it's
Yeah.
more of a spoilers. But yeah, I mean, at least I think unlike other found footage films, at least I felt there was some tension throughout. Like, you know, unlike the Blair Witch where you never really see anything happen,
Right.
at least the tent scene, even though it's really slow and drags or builds a suspense or whatever.
And then the heaviness too. I mean, you can hear in the footsteps
Mhm.
that it's a large animal creature.
Well,
It's something large.
I mean, I'm hearing like 2 footsteps instead of, you know, like,
It seems methodical in a way. But it was kind of weird. I was like, is it running away every time she screams? Like, she would scream and it would sound like it
scared
would
or
run
something.
away. Yeah. I think this had Andrew's kind of favorite part of the movie, though,
Yeah, with the face.
with the face.
Yeah, that was that would creep me out for sure. And a little face coming into the, not really coming in, but
Pushing
pushing
towards,
against the tent itself, and you see almost a little face. Man, that would just pop it right in the face, dude.
Yeah, I mean, definitely the tent scene, even though I think we've ragged on it a little bit, at least it does pick up. And I think the ending of it is pretty good. Because, you know, you're like, okay, I can hear it here, I can hear it there. Did it just throw a rock? Did it hit the tent? Now it's looking into the tent, it's growling. Is it a mountain lion? I don't know.
Another part of the movie that it doesn't make sense, just kind of like threw in the loop. They're obviously in the tent. He's got his light on the camera on. She turns the flashlight on in the tent and then asks him, "Do you see anything?"
Yeah.
You're inside the tent. I mean, what are you expecting to see?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Fear of the moment. We do stupid things
Can you
sometimes.
see anything? I don't know. I'm not sticking my head out there.
Right?
Yeah, and then. I don't know, we'll get into that part in spoilers. This movie.
I did fall asleep for a little bit of it.
Hey, he's honest.
Billy?
What the hell are you talking about, man?
Billy.
You okay, bro?
Aye. I don't know.
Why don't you have a seat, man?
Saw
Have a
Billy.
seat. Have a seat.
Saw Billy. Alright, now for the best part. The spoilers. If you're not down with the spoilers and you haven't seen the movie yet, we understand. Go ahead and click on the, or skip ahead to the time that you notice here on the screen, and you'll be past the spoiler alert.
Man, have you seen Sam recently?
Who?
Sam?
Sam?
Yeah.
No?
I haven't seen you guys. I haven't heard from you guys since the video that you last made at the cemetery.
What cemetery video?
Dude, I texted him that day. I saw the video just yesterday.
There's been no cemetery video.
I just watched it.
I don't
Useless
know.
mother.
Alright, last chance. Here's your spoiler opportunity to exit now. Yeah, the ending of the movie was probably the best part of the movie, I think. In a sense.
In a sense. I still think the beginning was probably the best because it made me want to go out there.
They kind of show the ending in the beginning too, a little bit.
Yeah, what is up with like found footage movies doing that?
Yeah, right?
But yeah, the ending is really, I think, fast-paced and suspenseful. Because obviously they get outside of the tent. Andrew has built a replica of what you should build so you don't get lost in the woods. You can build this nice little rock tower. If you ever climb 14ers in Colorado like we have, you will see these lining the trails so you don't get lost. Which they get lost. At one point she's like, we passed this tree 3 hours ago because he collects hair with DNA on it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, it's not that. It's like this movie's version of the map from Blair Witch, because they're just arguing about a tree now.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe it's their ploy to get you to go there. They show you the beautiness of the place where it's like, damn, that actually looks nice. Let's go.
Right?
And then they get more people up there to vanish.
Well, it makes you wonder, like, the guy at the beginning, was he trying to warn him? Or is he, like, in on it, you know? Is he helping out these Bigfoot get the people?
That
Put
could
'em in the
be.
right
I
area.
mean, it could be both. You know, he's still helping them out and stuff, but you know,
He tries to warn the
he
people
tries to let
first.
people know, so that way it's not on his conscience.
Ah,
Like, you know what?
come on.
I gave you the chance to run away.
Yeah, and you
You're
chose
stupid.
when and come, yeah.
Yeah, they chose the back way, and that's why they got lost, because they didn't drive right up to the spot.
Yep.
So, I mean, but pretty much in the end, you really never see Bigfoot. There is one scene, though, where you do see a female fully nude from the front down, except I think she was wearing some sort of briefs, granny panties possibly. But she looked like she was kind of already possessed of some sort.
Yeah, that was pretty darn creepy, man.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't think it really made a lot of sense. Because we were all just like, why was there a naked
Yeah,
lady?
it's like, are we watching
pretty
The Exorcist
confused.
of Emily
Yeah,
Rose,
naked
or are we
animal
watching
growls.
something about Sasquatch? What the hell's the
Yeah, we were like,
naked
well,
lady?
maybe it's those river people, because there's the interview at the beginning where he's like, it's river people or pot farmers or what was the other one? Locals.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, maybe it's a river person, but why were they
Maybe it's
making?
a local river person.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
she
yeah.
did. She looked a little bigger. Like I was like, well, maybe they're just saying Bigfoot are just like big people or something. I don't know, because she looked like she could be taller than him. But it turned out, because I read up on it after, because I was kind of confused about it, and it was the missing lady that you see her poster at the Bigfoot restaurant.
Yep.
And I did not get that connection at all, if I'm being honest.
Well, I mean, first she was distorted a little bit because from what I can recall in the picture, she looked like not a petite but average sized lady, and
And we
much
didn't really see
happier.
her face at the end,
Yeah.
so like, how did
It
you
was
get that
more-
connection?
Exactly.
Right.
And then he gets like murdered because you hear him like gurgling, like
Yeah, within like half
Throat
a
was
second
ripped out.
after seeing the naked lady, he's grabbed from, I would assume, from behind, and immediately hits the ground.
Yeah, and you just hear gurgling and like yelling and
Yeah, and then you hear her like in the distance yelling
yeah,
for
but he
help.
gets dragged off
yeah.
from where she was, and then all of a sudden you hear her screaming out, stop,
No,
and then help
no.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, which according to what I read is she was taken to be like the forest bride of the Bigfoot. So I guess that's why they're taking all these missing women. Which I guess kind of goes with the Bigfoot lore, because when we were doing our Max Hawthorne interview and he was talking about David Pilatus and how they found DNA, they could trace it back so far, and one of the originators of whatever the species is was unknown, but the other was human female. So I guess they, in the Bigfoot lore, they do take human females to do like forest brides, I guess, mate with. So I guess it.
Alright, a little further north from here, apparently there was some guy and a mask, and they called him the Plum Creek Monster.
No, it was Bigfoot.
No, it was some guy in a mask.
No, don't you remember we went to the Sasquatch outpost in Bailey, and we did the Bigfoot tour.
There's no such thing as Bigfoot.
Come on, man. Don't be pulling my foot here.
Dude, that place didn't change my mind at all, man. So we went to Coney Island, and that didn't change my mind either.
All right, so you may ask, why did we choose Willow Creek? We chose it because a couple different stories. The first off, one of the most famous ones, the Patty.
The Patterson-Gimlin
Patterson.
footage of Patty. Obviously, like I said in the Roswell Project Blue Book videos, it's the most well-known Bigfoot footage, and I think, in fact, after the JFK assassination footage, it's the second most watched and scrutinized piece of footage. There's actually been a book written about how scrutinized it has been. But why else did we choose this
Well,
one?
and then story number 2 for us right here in Douglas County, local to us, maybe within 10-15 miles of where we are right now, was the Plum Creek monster of the 1950s, I think.
1954. So this was before the Patterson-Gimlin footage, where they, I guess, kind of saw this monster flinging a chicken or something. They said doing voodoo, and I was like, well, it just looks like it's like throwing like a chicken around. I don't know how you consider that voodoo or something.
But it was very close to the Roswell case, so they kind of blamed it on UFOs as well.
And I don't know what made them jump to the conclusion that it might be flying saucers.
Well, obviously, if it was on the ground and at eye
I guess
level.
because its face was gray, and they're like, it's the Martians.
It's the Martians.
Yeah, they were saying gray, green.
Yeah.
There was
Black,
lots of
I mean.
But
different.
they were like, it could have looked like a gorilla, but it walked like a person. And we'll do a more in-depth Cool's Fun Fact episode about it at some point, because I've heard stories of people that know or think they know who hoaxed the whole thing. But yeah, I mean, we just wanted to tie it in with something local, some history. So we saw 2 opportunities, and obviously we didn't want to just talk about those tonight because they're so big on their own. We can do separate episodes. But.
Now, here's something over here. Is that? Could it be? Oh my God! Bigfoot. Hey, Andrew, Bigfoot. And Andrew. Did you see Bigfoot?
What Bigfoot? I heard you yelling.
Bigfoot was right there.
I saw nothing.
What?
Bigfoot doesn't exist. I told you.
He does.
Okay.
So let's start with the acting in this movie. Our male role is played by Bryce Johnson. The female lead is Alexie Gilmore. And the director actually is a well-known person. Andrew, would you like to introduce us to the director?
Yeah, Bobcat Goldthwait, that guy that's in Police Academy.
And a famous comedian.
And a famous comedian.
And yes, he is the guy with that screechy voice. If you're trying to think of Police Academy, yes, that guy.
Yeah, this was kind of like, I think it was one of his passion projects. I think I've heard him talk about Bigfoot, so. But overall, what do you guys think of the acting? There was a lot of parts where I thought they did really good. There was that part in the tent where I told you guys that he looked like he might legitimately be crying pretty soon. And, some of the locals, when they're angry, they look really angry. You have the karaoke singer, when he's making fun of the Bigfoot statue, looked like he might legitimately kill him. And so I think the acting was pretty good for the most part.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you got to wonder maybe if they really did pull some people in to get that authenticity. Maybe some of these locals they interviewed
Are actually locals.
were actual locals, and maybe they weren't actors at all. And it's like, oh, well, thanks, because you get the approval to film. And I think one of the more realistic ones was the sweet little old lady in the beginning of the movie when our female lead is jerking off the Bigfoot statue. Just as sweet as can be, comes out and go, can I help you guys? Like, what are you doing to Bigfoot?
What you doing to Bigfoot?
Like, why are you doing that? Yeah, there's a lot of that in this movie. You're like, you could probably done without that.
Yeah.
Didn't really add a lot, when you're making a movie. Just streamline it. Put what's important. I know you gotta have everyday talk, but I don't know if everyone talks about it. What about the filming, you know? Because I know this is first-person filming like that, you know, Blair Witch, Quarantine, Cloverfield Wreck, you know?
Just, I mean, for the most part, it was good. There was one part in the movie, though, and I think we all looked at each other and was kind of like, I'm getting a little motion sickness here, where there's, I don't even remember if they were running, but just the angle they were showing on the ground was, with all the bushes and the trees and everything, was just making you go, okay, whoa,
Yeah, it
hold
hurt
the
my eyes
camera,
at least.
hold
Yeah.
the damn camera straight.
Yeah, and I think this is a problem with found footage is for some reason they film like you gotta shake the camera.
Yeah.
And I don't know why, because when you're out there filming like we do, you ain't shaking the camera all the time. But it is authentic because apparently every Bigfoot footage you see is shaky. And I don't know why. When you're out there filming Bigfoot, hold your camera still. You don't need to start shaking it or nothing like that.
Even if he's running at you, just hold it still so everyone can get a
At
good...
least for a second.
Yeah, just
I
like
mean,
a good picture of him.
I know they do that because at the beginning of the Patterson-Gimlin footage it's shaky, but that's because he was running at Patty. Sorry. Alright.
Dude, I know what I saw. Come with me. It was over this way. I'll show you. Let's see. This is where I heard it come from. It's like, see, it started from like right over here. This must be its like dwelling right here.
I'm sure plenty of deer and animals that have come along this way have been laying here.
But look at the break on the tree. That's like a big break, dude.
Yeah, it's old and dead, and there's a pile of crap here.
But look at the break. Look at the break, though, man.
Yeah, it's clearly old and died and heavy. So it probably did fall over. You're right.
All right. Well, I know what I saw.
You're seeing shit, bro.
Yeah. All right, now we're here for ratings and recommendations. We're going to start over here with Andrew. Andrew, what would you give this movie as far as ratings?
2.3.
2.3. All right, no, it's a great rating. Is it a recommended movie?
Not even a little bit.
Why? Why not even a little bit?
Honestly, I fell asleep, so I missed some of it. But what I do remember, I was quite bored still. I definitely felt like I was going to continue falling asleep. I had to force myself awake.
I did see some points where I looked over and Andrew was just like,
He was a sleeping angel.
I don't know about an angel, but I'll take it.
All right, Keegan, on to you. What would you give this as a rating?
this is pretty hard. I don't know. That tent scene was pretty hard for us to watch.
That was the only part that I liked.
My phone came in handy quite often in that tent scene because I was just like, all right, let's do some research about this and see what we're gonna talk about. But there are some really good parts. I did like the beginning because I think it really built it up well. We were laughing. I think we were enjoying that part. And it made us want to go at least visit some of these places.
I mean, the restaurant for sure.
Yeah, I want to check out that restaurant. Sam looked it up. It's a real restaurant.
Yeah.
And the ending, like once the Bigfoots are attacking the tent and like the suspense is like it felt really suspenseful more than a lot of other films. Blair Witch has no suspense. It's a terrible movie. So I'd probably give it like a 5.8.
5.8.
5.8 out of 10, yeah.
Would you recommend this to anyone?
If you're looking for found footage films, I guess, it's not the worst thing ever made. I think like Cloverfield's the best found footage film, and then like maybe Wreck and Quarantine. Everything after that's a dumpster fire with Blair Witch and Blair Witch 2 and Monster by Asylum, like Paranormal Activity, yeah. So it's better than all those. It's probably one of the better like fictional Bigfoot movies, which I don't know is saying a lot. It's not. I would go recommend like the Missing 411 documentary, The Hunted. I think that's a lot
really
better.
good one.
We'll do a review on that. But yeah, I don't know if that helps you out with my recommendations.
Yeah, no, definitely. Sam, how would you rate the movie?
I would give it a 6. I thought it was really good. I mean, unlike these guys, well, besides Andrew, I kind of enjoyed the tent scene because it seemed more real. Like if you were actually squatching out in the brush, like you would hear sounds off in the distance. They wouldn't be like happening quick. I mean, they can and will eventually, but it just felt more real, and I don't think they should change it at all. Because if you made it shorter, then it would just be, I don't know, then it would be more bland and not as like kind of real as they were going for with it. So I enjoyed that scene, and I thought it was a pretty decent one, at least for like a Bigfoot film, like first person version of it. There were a bunch of mishaps that they could have done better, but you know,
Well,
that's like all horror films.
there was mishaps, but something I forgot was like there was actually a pretty good amount of like Bigfoot lore in there.
Yeah.
And so I think it's good to see they actually did their research on like other movies like Ouija or stuff where it was just like this has nothing to do with the Ouija, you know. But like with the knocking or like the hollering or the hoots, the hollering or the howling and the hoots. I think they could have already do that. But Matt?
First, it's, any recommendations, Sam? Do you want people to see it, not see it?
I mean, if you enjoy watching films, I would recommend it. I mean, it's only an hour and 19 minutes. It's not a super long film. But, I mean, it's an interesting watch, to say the least.
All right. Where it gets tough, I mean, I agree this movie by far was better than Blair Witch. I don't know how bad you can get with Blair Witch.
I think it was better than Ouija too.
And I think we pretty much laughed our way through Blair Witch. But this one I would give it probably a 4.5 to a 5. It's up there, not super great. Sam, I totally see your point with, you know, the tent scene. They cut out some of that dryness, but just for that type of movie, for me it was dry. And but yeah, so Sam, I see what you're saying though. Yes, it would have not happened as fast for sure. Because I mean, we've all been camping before, and when any animal off in the distance gets a little close, I mean, yes, they get spooked off when you make noise, but yeah, it happens that way. But I think for a movie, it seemed a little long. But yeah, so 4.5 to a 5. If you're into that first-person type stuff, definitely check it out. Let us know what you think. Maybe a date night, you want your girlfriend to cuddle up a little bit closer to you, maybe check it out. But
Yeah, it does have some jump scares.
it's not a horrible movie to say no to.
That first
so
10 hit.
Oh,
Yeah.
God, yeah. First 10 hit.
Yeah, when it hit that 10,
yeah, for sure.
I wasn't ready for that.
Face
because
come through
nothing.
tent.
Face coming through
Maybe
the
that's why the tent scene being so long and nothing happening was good. Because that first tent hit, you were just like, oh, well, I didn't expect that. Like nothing happens usually in these times.
Yeah. Or something would happen so fast, it was like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then Andrew's favorite part when it was like creeping in, like you could feel the suspense.
Right, dude?
It was-
Right? My adrenaline was going, man. I punched that thing right in the face. Alright, dude, if you really want to go Sasquatching so much, why don't we just set up here? We'll set up our cameras, do our little investigation.
Perfect. Hear that?
Yeah.
I heard like a tapping.
It's coming from outside of the tent.
It sounded like a clap noise. What the fuck's going on? What the hell's going on? I gotta get my flashlight out to see if I can see anything.
Do you see anything in the tent?
No, but Something's definitely outside of it. What was that? It's getting closer.
Just stay calm. Just stay calm. Don't move. You can't see us if we don't move.
Is that?
That was just a monkey, don't worry.
There's no monkeys out here. It's a face. It's a face.
Just punch it. Punch it in the face, dear.
You got your gun.
What gun? You don't own a gun.
This is Colorado. Everyone has a gun.
I don't believe in guns. I kind of believe in guns
Let's go.
now.
We've got to go. We've got to
Okay.
go. We've got to
Okay,
go.
Go.
All right, and if you're totally into Bigfoot, have no fear. We're going to cover more on Bigfoot. Right now, we do have a current Bigfoot video out there from our experiences at the Sasquatch outpost right here in Bailey, Colorado. But right here about Andrew's chest height, we're going to have some more links here for our Bigfoot video stuff. For more information or more stuff on Spirits of the Silver Screen right above Andrew's face, click on that link there. For more information on Culz Paranormal, the link right above me. And as always, don't forget to
Like
and subscribe.
Hit that notification bell if you want to see more of our videos. Make
What he
sure to
said.
switch it to all so you can get all of the updates if you like. Other than that, have a good day.
Did you hear that?
It was a Bigfoot that was out.
Woo!
Was that a hound?
Come on, let's try. It's kind of weird.
Like